All right. How is everybody doing today? This is L.A.Kendrick with another tale from the vault of Would You Dare? And we're going to discuss today. There was an incident that happened in 1908 in Russia called the Tunguska event, right? I don't want to waste a lot of time. I want to jump right into it because it's very, it's not talked about as much as it should be, and it's got a lot of twists and turns to it. And you guys, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, make sure you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment because I want to see what you guys think about some of this stuff that's going on. And, you know, let me know what you think. Just let me know what you think. Again, keep an open mind. This is raw and unedited. I just found the article, and there's several articles online. Again, these are not my words. These are just things that are speculated. Events that have actually happened, and this one definitely happened. So the party don't start till you walk in, and now that you're here, let's begin. All right, so let me see here. A flurry of reports from Russia about the discovery of fragments from an alien spaceship at the site of the 1908 Tunguska explosion may be nothing more than wistful fulfillment by devotees of a half-century-old Russian space myth, or they may actually have been based on genuine spacecraft fragments, but of Russian origin. Either way, or even the highly unlikely event that reports turn out to be credible, these stories reflect the way the century-old Tunguska blast continues to resonate in the human psyche. Expedition leader Yuri Lavabin prefers the alien technology interpretation. That's the theory that he admits he started with, even before he got to the area. But other space experts have pointed out that the region is a drop zone for discarded rocket stages launched into space from Russia's Baikonur base, Baikonur base, and in fact was the crash site of one prototype manned space capsule at the very dawn of the space age. On June 30th, 1908, residents of southern Siberia spotted a dazzling fireball crossing the sky, followed by a flare brighter than the sun. Minutes later, a shock wave knocked many of those residents off their feet. When later expeditions reached the nearby inaccessible swamps where the explosion had occurred, they found trees flattened down in a pattern pointing away from ground zero, but no crater and no meteorite fragments. The first Soviet expedition was sent in to the site in 1927 in hopes of finding metallic ore. Although a series of natural theories followed over the years, a Russian science and science fiction author who visited Hiroshima in late 1945 postulated that the Tunguska blast too must have been nuclear in nature, and hence the result of a visit by space aliens. But Dutch space historian Gerrit Sassen suggests an earthly origin for the space fragments reported just found, and they could have no connection with the 1908 event. They might have found some parts of the fifth Vostok test flight. This is what he told associates via the email. Sassen, S-A-S-S-E-N, or Sassen, was referring to a flight on December 22, 1960, meant to carry 2 dogs into space. According to Challenge the Apollo, NASA's definitive history of the space race, the payload landed about 3,500 kilometers downrange from the launch site in one of the most remote and inaccessible areas of Siberia, in the region of the, Podkamena, Podkamennaya, Tunguska River, close to the impact point of the famed Tunguska meteorite. A team of space engineers located the capsule, disarmed the destruct unit system, and rescued the canine passengers. Now, they got a natural explanation here. Initially, some astronomers were attracted to the idea that the object had been a comet nucleus. To account for the explosion when it slammed into the atmosphere, they toyed with other theories, including proposals involving antimatter and many black holes. There that word is, many black holes again. Well, how long they've been messing around with that? But for many years, there were no reliable theories on what happens when large objects hit the Earth's atmosphere. That changed in the 1980s as observations of artificial and natural fireballs expanded along with the power of computer simulations. When the first modern models for atmospheric impacts were published in 1993, NASA asteroid expert David Morrison said it became clear that this was a stony body. He suggests that it was somewhere between an ordinary chondrite and a carbonaceous chondrite in physical properties. Okay, so those are words I haven't seen very often. And the first one is spelled C-H-O-N-D-R-I-T-E. And the other one is spells C-A-R-B-O-N-A-C-E-O-U-S. Carbonaceous, I guess. But it couldn't have been a dirty snowball. That's a light, fluffy comet he continued. In contrast, cometary objects with mass of low density and or icy composition would explode tens of kilometers above the surface and cause no harm. We know this now because the Pentagon satellites have actually been observing such explosions for several decades. Unfortunately, Morse adds the old comet theory persists out of inertia. As to current scientific thinking, he says, Tunguska was, where did it go just then? Something just happened. Let me see, I just lost the page. Let me go back. As to current scientific thinking, he says, Tunguska was very likely a stony object about 60 meters, 196 feet in diameter, that disintegrated explosively at an altitude of approximately 8 kilometers or 5 miles. Now here's the UFO version. It didn't do the Russian UFO story credibility much that it first appeared on the pages of the newspaper Pravda on Tuesday in Soviet days. Pravda was the propaganda arm of the Soviet Communist Party, but under new management. It became a tabloid-style scandal sheet with a special desire for wild paranormal tales. Explorers believe they had discovered blocks of an extraterrestrial technical device, the article stated, adding that they assumed it was one that had crashed in 1908. After dismissing a century's worth of scientific investigation into natural theories from the H-bomb size explosion, the article concluded the only real explanation can be linked with a powerful electromagnetic phenomena, presumably of artificial origin. There's a guy here named Lavin reported that he knew all along that the crash had been caused by a UFO and that his expedition had organized to find the proof. In his scenario, there was a natural object that threatened to destroy Earth, but the aliens intervened to save our planet. I'm fully confident, and I can make an official statement that we were saved by some forces of a superior civilization. He explained, they exploded this enormous meteorite that headed towards us with enormous speed. Photographs of fragments may become available in the near future as well as laboratory testing. This would help differentiate something truly alien from the space debris that the Russians have been scattering across the Tunguska region for the last 50 years. That's how much more this is. Got a little bit more. Sassen's suggestion that the mysterious space fragment found in the Tunguska area is more likely to be of Russian origin than Martian origin is supported by decades of history during which the Soviet government tolerated public interest in UFOs as a way of camouflaging actual space and missile events. Many of the most famous Soviet theories that are still promoted in the Western books and on internet sites have been traced back to origin, but highly classified military space missions. The most spectacular Soviet UFO wave in history occurred over the southern part of the country in 1967 and 1968, when crescent-shaped giant spaceships were reported flying across the skies, endorsed as unexplainable by top Russian scientists. The widely witnessed apparitions turned out to be secret tests of Soviet thermonuclear warheads diving back from orbit. Okay. In 1978, the smoking gun of the Soviet ufology was a jellyfish UFO that drifted through the skies of northwestern Russia, zapping computers and panicking pre-dawn witnesses. It turned out to be the contrails from a rocket ship carrying a spy satellite from a secret space base. A similar secret launched in September 1984, seen by the crews and passengers of several commercial airlines, sparked stories of death raids and alien attack. At the time, Moscow officials denied that such space and missile events were occurring, and some were borderline violations of armed control treaties. Thus, it was convenient to have an explanation for ordinary people who saw them in the skies and wondered what they could have been. So for generations of Russians, alien visitors became the explanation of choice for the unusual lights in the sky. And that's all we got on that. You guys tell me what you think, man. What do you guys think? Would you dare want to be caught out there trying to figure out what that thing was? And I don't know. I wouldn't want to be caught in that blast radius because it flattened out a lot of stuff. You can Google and you'll see all the devastation that it did. And they said there are no fragments, anything related to a comet or a meteorite or anything like that. So you got a lot of conflicting stories with this. I'm fascinated. For one, I'm fascinated. Again, I love stuff like this. Can't get enough of it. But I keep an open mind because these are the things that I write about in the stories that I have for the young generation and for adult sci-fi people. Because remember, I have The Foes of God coming out shortly, working very hard on that, trying to get that thing out because it's the final installment of the Destiny versus Chaos series. I'm going to continue with the Benefits of a Bullet and other stories as well. I'll be having that out pretty soon and shortly for you guys. A pleasure. And I appreciate all that you guys do. We're at 57 now. Still haven't seen what 60 looks like. I think it's kind of funny. Again, I'm not doing this for profit. Just doing this to give you guys a place to go where you can actually have an outlet where you can talk about and just Q&A. So again, take from this information what you want. And we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm doing the best that I can. I talk about everything scientific, science fiction, and science fact. And every now and then I'll throw something else in there. But for the most part, this is what I'm doing. And this was the Tunguska explosion of 1908 in Russia. And this has been L.A.Kendrick with another tale from the vault of Would You Dare? Make sure you check the dark recesses of your home. You check your closets. And if you work late at night or way into the wee hours of the early morning when there's limited light and visibility, make sure when you step outside, you're mindfully aware of your surroundings. Check under your car and inside of your car before you get in. Because you never know who or what is lurking in the darkness, waiting to make you a story. You guys, until next time, fill in the rest.